What's going on, guys? Clayton with DDP Motorsports back with another video. I just wanted to show you something that's new on the market. I say new, it's been out for a little while, just hasn't really been released to the public yet. Anyway, it's a new self-calibrating billet actuator made by ITI. ITI has been in the turbo game for a very long time, so it only suits them that they come out with such an awesome product here. And you'll see I have another ITI product over here. This is a cast version. This is the billet. ITI has come out with their own self-calibrating, no calibration needed actuator. Calibrates with just the turn of the key cycle, and it will sweep the vanes. It goes from 0 to 100, and it calibrates itself every time you turn on the truck, which is great. And it's also cleaning the vanes at the same time. This has an upgraded motor on the inside. It's a brushless motor. It has awesome cooling fins on the side to help with heat dissipation. I really like that they made it one piece. And the reason being is so you don't have to put anything together. It's kind of dummy proof. So like if you're kind of questioning or you're not as mechanically inclined and you want to try to tackle this at home in your garage or your driveway, you definitely can. One piece design, you pop those two O-rings in here that go in this spot here, and then 4 bolts, and then you're pretty much good to go for the most part. The year models that this actuator and this actuator fit is 07.5 all the way up to 2024. You'll notice that this has the 13 plus style plug on it. And if you have an 07.5 to 2012 truck, that's no problem. We have a harness. I don't have it here with me today, but we have a harness that you can purchase on the website that will adapt it to this. And it will work on cab and chassis trucks as well as pickup trucks. And they're even going to come out with one that works on the ISX, if I'm not mistaken. So be on the lookout for that as well. So again, these do fit 2007.5 all the way up to 2024. This actuator has been in testing probably for about a year or so. They wanted to make sure that it was right and good to go to the market before they released it publicly. There are some customers that have gotten some of these before they were released publicly. Obviously, they helped us, and we're super grateful for them. They helped us go through some of the software updates, and this does have the new and upgraded software on it, which is great. Every once in a blue moon, you know, some trucks, and this is with any aftermarket actuator that is tuned. I'm sorry, not aftermarket actuator, aftermarket truck that is tuned. Some of them may experience some surging issues. I want to let everybody know it's not an actuator issue. Could it be? Of course, if you want to send it in for warranty, no problem. We'll test it. We'll check it out. But most of the time, it's going to be the tune, because this actuator is much stronger and it's got a better motor on it and it's faster. It's a lot more powerful than the OEM actuator. So by no means is this 100% accurate, but just to kind of give you an idea of what I'm talking about. The OEM actuator, say it goes from 0, 50 to 100, it moves at such a slow rate, like those are the little bullet points or sections that it wants it to go to. This one, whenever it tries to do that, it goes super fast, and the truck doesn't like that. So if you experience surging issues, let us know. We can help walk you through it, obviously, or tell your tuner, go from 0, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. That will help slow it down and give it points to touch before just sending it so fast. So that's something that I want to let everybody know while they're watching this video. If you do get that issue, one, call us, let us know, or just get with your tuner and let us, they should be able to help you and keep us updated as well. If you need any help, let us know. We're happy to help. But this is such an awesome design, and it will outlast the OEM actuator by a long shot. It not only looks really cool, but they've done a lot of testing with not only the looks, but the cooling fins, obviously the design and everything like that. And it is designed to last for a very long time. This one looks very similar to an OEM. And what's really cool about this is it almost looks factory, which is great. So some of those states, that you have to get under the hood and they're looking around for anything aftermarket or out of the ordinary, this is the go-to guy right here, because it looks factory. And it's obviously the internals are the same as this one. It's just they were able to put it in a different housing, but internals exactly the same. So this one will be a little bit cheaper. This one at the time of this video is $975, and then this one is probably going to be, I would say, about $50 to $100 cheaper. Just depends on whenever the pricing and all that stuff rolls out. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to have those in stock here soon, but these are the ones that everybody wants and that has in stock. All right, so let's get into something that's very important. Let's go over the codes that everybody talks about, so that way we can explain when you should just get an actuator and maybe when you should purchase a turbocharger with the new actuator. I wanted to go over with you some of the codes that everybody talks about. All these codes will always lead to the actuator being the problem. The 226C code will more so point to the turbocharger, like stated, but I want to go over with you a little bit more in depth on why these codes can still be a turbocharger issue. So the first code is going to be a U010C code or a P0046. The U01C and the 0046 code, it's normally related to the turbocharger actuator or the power, ground, or communication wires going to the actuator. However, a turbocharger can still be part of the issue. And the reason why is those two codes, if it's not getting, the actuator isn't seeing power. So it could be the wiring going from the truck to this plug here. And then if there's something wrong with the circuit board on the inside of this actuator, it could throw those codes as well. And something that I like to explain to people when they call in is what caused the actuator to fail. It's very rare that these will just fail on their own. I mean, do they? Of course they do. Anything could fail depending on where it's made, how it was made, what facility it was made in, and all that fun stuff. But a lot of times these will fail because the circuit board will overheat. And what I mean by that is when the vanes of the turbochargers start to stick, it's gonna cause this little motor on the inside to have to work harder. And then that motor gets hot, and how these are designed, if you were to take any of them apart, the circuit board will sit over the motor. And so I forget the exact melting point of solder and all that stuff and all the little fuses. I'm not an electrician person or an IT person, but if it gets too hot, it'll start melting all that, which could cause the communication issues that you're getting. So when everybody sees the codes and they say, oh, just replace the actuator, you're good. That's not always the case. It can be, but it's not always the case. The next code is the 00 or P003A. This indicates that the actuator cannot find the end stops. This is usually caused by a problem with the actuator, but it could also be the result of removing the actuator without recalibrating it. Or if it couldn't find the end stops, it could be because of the turbocharger. The vanes are not allowing it to go to the end stops, which could mean the same thing. Again, it could be the turbocharger. And a lot of customers will say, well, my turbocharger is fine. I'm still building boost and everything. And you will. The turbocharger will still spin and suck in air. There's not going to be a problem with the wheel because they'll tell me all the time that the wheel is still spinning. I can still hear it. I don't have any shaft play. And that's perfectly fine. But you have to remember that the vanes are still very much a part of the turbocharger. So when we say the turbocharger is bad, it doesn't mean the entire thing is bad. It's just the main portion of it, which is the vanes, which is what the actuator controls. So if it can't find the end stops, it could be because of the turbo vanes itself, not just the actuator. And again, if the actuator cannot find the end stops, it's going to be pushing hard and overheating this little motor on the OEM actuator, and then it could cause the circuitry to overheat and get too hot, and then it could fail. The next one is that 00AF code, and that one may indicate a faulty actuator wiring. Again, it could be the circuitry on inside of the actuator, or again, the wiring going from the truck to the actuator. So it's always good to check that just to make sure, because sometimes things do happen. People will go in there, work on the truck. They'll have to undo some wire loom. They forget to put it back, and then it could, over the vibration and over time, it could cause a bare spot or a short or something like that. It does say, usually on this code list that we made, please review code P0046, which is the very first one that I had told you about the communication issue. And then the last one is people call this the turbo death code. It is the P226C code. This code refers to the turbocharger and indicates that the desired position of the vanes does not match the actual position. This issue usually occurs when the vanes get stuck and may remain stuck all the time. Again, that one is kind of clearly what it says is if this actuator can't find the end stops or it's not wanting to move, it's usually because the vanes are stuck. One of the issues that I want to talk about also is the vanes themselves and why it's not just a good idea to go off of removing the actuator, checking the vanes, and then throwing an actuator on it and hoping that it works. Sometimes that does work. Sometimes it buys customers a few months. Sometimes it buys them a year. Sometimes it fails within a few days. So I just want to make that point clear. And I have a turbocharger that I'd like to show you the vanes on. That way you can kind of get a better idea of what that looks like and why I try to explain to people that it's more than likely the turbo causing the issue versus just the actuator failing. This is a turbo that we have torn apart, but as you can see, this isn't supposed to look like this. It's all sticky with oily soot, essentially. And this is your exhaust side of your housing. So this is going to be the back side of your turbo housing. So all the exhaust will go through here. So if you don't change your CCV filter and you still have it going into your cold air intake, and it gets too full and it can't filter that anymore, it's all going to go through here, which is why it's such a turbo getter if you don't do that. So this is what your actuator does. Anytime that your actuator is moving, this is what it's doing. This one's pretty sticky even when it's cold, and it won't even go all the way. And it can get sticky all on the inside, and this ring rides on this piece right here, and it can also get stuck on the outside. And then these are your little fingers on your vanes, and they can get damaged as well. And if those get damaged, it will allow it not to actuate it either. That's why it's so crucial to be able to see what you're working with if possible. And don't always just trust the shop telling you, hey, this is what the code says, so you just need an actuator and you're good. That's not always correct. So this one is a turbocharger, and I'm gonna test it. Okay, so about 78 degrees. It's about what the temperature is in here. Center section is about 78. So again, ambient air temperature, not an operating temp. So operating temp is, I think idle is 300 plus degrees. Whenever you put it in drive, it goes to 600-700 degrees. And then whenever you're driving and towing, I mean, you can see up to 1200 degrees, obviously. And you can hear it hits the end stops. It's not perfect. Like, it's got a little bit more resistance to my liking, but a lot of mechanics or somebody would assume like, hey, this is good to go. So we're gonna heat it up. I have a blowtorch here. Oops. And we're gonna see what happens. All right, let's see how hot it is. Again, I only have one torch, and the turbo is a circle, so you would have to heat it up evenly. So I got it up to about 180 degrees, about 100 degrees more, as much as I could. So let's check out this vane real quick. Oh yeah, see, it's a little bit harder now. Now that we got some heat to it, it's a lot more stiff. So that's the only thing that you have to be aware of is whenever it's cold, of course, it's going to feel like there's a lot of tolerance because it's made of metal. So when metal gets cold, it contracts, giving you the false sense that you have a lot of playroom, a lot of tolerance. And then whenever you add some heat to it, this was only 100 degrees difference, and it's already a little bit more stiff. And a lot of customers, they can throw this actuator on there because it's stronger, it's bigger. It's got a bigger motor, so it will power through that for a little while, but it may go right back into the same thing after a few months or a year. It may still overheat the little circuit board and then fail. So that's why I'm just so picky, and I try to explain that to everybody. Oh yeah, so I can go that way pretty good, but not that way. So just wanted to make everybody aware of that. Quick little test. That way, if you can have this setup done, or if you can find a way to heat this up evenly and do that test, It's the best way to know if your turbocharger vanes are sticking. Is it a pain in the rear end? Yes, it is, because who wants to remove this big old thing? And it's a lot easier to throw an actuator on in 3 hours or so. All right, guys, so I hope that helps. This is just a short little informative video. And if you guys have any questions or just want to talk about it, please give us a shout. We have a lot of experience with actuators. Um, we have a lot of experience with turbochargers. We have our own line of turbochargers. So if you need a full package solution, we can pair an ITI actuator with one of our Hooligan turbochargers. We have many different sizes available, such as like 60, 67, 63, 64, which is very popular. This is also a 63, 64. We have a new housing that's going to be coming out here very soon. We can even get bigger sizes like 63, 67, 65, 67, and some more. So please just let us know. Whatever you guys need, we can get you taken care of. And if you guys need an actuator, we are stocking these. We usually have quite a few in stock. There might be like a couple week lead time, but nothing crazy. And I highly, highly recommend this actuator. They've been awesome to work with. Wonderful company. Can't say enough good things about them. We're blessed enough to be a master distributor. So we are going to feed a lot of the central guys and the southern guys. So if you're a shop, a dealership, and your shop does a lot of these actuators or turbos, please let us know. We can get you set up with a dealer account. Happy to help you, train you on these, teach you how they work, and hopefully it'll help you and your customers out, and will save you a lot of headache going with rather than going with like an OEM actuator or something. So again, both of these will fit 07.5 all the way up to 2024. Self-calibrating actuator. No calibration needed. No need to go to a shop that has a scanner or anything. You can do this in your driveway, your garage. And for the places or for the customers who want to take this to a shop to get it professionally done, which is always recommended, much easier on them as well. No headaches or anything like that. No having to deal with calibrating and all that fun stuff. It's pretty much ready to go out of the box. So give us a call, 866-895-3833. Send us an email, sales@ddpmotorsports.com. We're happy to jump on a phone call with you, go over all the codes, let us know what's going on with your truck, and we'll give you our best educated answer on. You might be able to get away with just replacing the actuator, but it's always best to replace the entire turbocharger and the actuator at the same time. Obviously, a turbocharger is a lot more expensive, so if you can't afford it, that's okay. Then just go with the actuator and what you can afford, and hopefully it'll get you through whatever you need to get through. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you on the next one, and look forward to hearing from you guys. Thank you. Thank you, kind sir. That's junk, right? Is that what we do?